Shriram Finance as well is in the spotlight. Let's understand from them what the impact is on the back of the tighter microfinance norms. We've got Umesh Revankar, he's the Executive Vice Chairman at Shriram Finance, now joining us. Thank you so much for taking time out. Now, the last time the company said that it has tightened the criteria for giving personal loans and will wait for a few quarters before increasing the PL portfolio. What is the status now? Any indirect impact maybe of the microfinance on personal loans?
No, see, let us understand the customers of a microfinance borrower are totally different. Mostly, they are either semi-skilled or unskilled workforce from the rural, maybe semi-urban areas, and they are not the borrower from the typical NBFC. For example, we are financing a two-wheeler or we are financing a three-wheeler. Those customers, they know that they can take a loan against a secured asset. So these customers are totally different. So I don't think there is any kind of a mix between two segments of the borrowers.
Okay, so just to follow up, what is the situation now and how are you growing the personal loan portfolio?
See, we are continuing to give to our existing customer. So we have not really impacted by the instruction or regulatory changes that has brought about in microfinance. So we are continuing with our personal loan to our existing customer as we were doing in the past.
You may have been cautious in personal segment citing over leveraging, etc. What should be done for improvement in this segment, and do we have more regulatory action?
See, basically, we have to understand the need of the money for any individual. If the money is borrowed for speculative activity or gaming activity or for the speculating in the any form, in that case, it is a risky lending. Or if the money is borrowed only for pure consumption, then again you are over leveraging yourself or you are becoming indebted. So these are the two risky situations. The regulator doesn't want individuals to get into a debt trap of any sort, either because he's losing money in the speculation activity, nor because he's not having enough income and only using for consumption. See, in the both scenario, a regulator wants wish to not to have. So they want the borrower to be quite informed, having enough sufficient knowledge about the financial dealings or literacy, what you say, that he has to borrow to the requirement only, not for, or for particular purpose only, not just for the speculative and consumption. That is the intent of the regulator. That's very clear. And as a lender, we are all responsible lender. We would not like to lend to unknown spend. So we would like to lend to the individuals for the requirement, or any specific requirement for which he needs some what call financial assistance.
The company was expecting good growth, especially in two-wheeler in October and November. How that has been overall demand, especially given the mix of auto and retail data?
The demand has been extremely good. Taking forward from what we have done in the last year, October, November months, we have grown further. So this year, our growth in two-wheeler disbursement year on year has been around 15%. So that is the record lending we have done over the previous year. So the demand has been very good in the rural market, especially because I believe that harvest has been good and the rural India is reasonably much more what to call more there is much more spend from the rural market, which is helping the overall demand for two-wheeler and tractor both.
Right. We understand that the demand for used commercial vehicles is good, but is, tepid for new CVs. Could you throw some light on this, given the fact that the government capex is expected to increase in the second half of the year?
Yes, overall new vehicle sales in the first 6 months have been little slow or has not grown year on year. But this year, if you look at this quarter, October and November, there is an increase in year on year sales, both in October and November. Even though it's a marginal, it's a single digit, around 5 to 7% growth over the previous year is seen. I believe the demand for a new vehicle, especially heavy commercial vehicle, is mostly coming from the infra spend outlook. There is a better outlook on the government infra spend now onwards. Therefore, there has been some demand coming back, and I think it will continue to be growing till March.
Right. So is there any initial stress, especially in the medium-heavy commercial vehicle segment?
We are not seeing any kind of no indication as of now. But see, because what happens is during the busy festive time, everyone would have done well. So October, November, the sales would have been a peak. So any kind of weakness would be seen only later. So right now, things are very good. Both October and November, the overall demand for the products and services have been very good. And after that, you have a Pongal in January. So these festivals and the demand coming out of the harvest and the festivals will continue to helpful to the MSME industry, especially because they're mostly in the semi-urban and rural area. I don't really see any scope for the what you call delinquency going up. So I think there is increased demand, and overall consumption is likely to become better in the semi-urban rural market. So we are quite comfortable and confident that things will only improve from now on.
Right, and your housing finance deal as well was expected to be completed this quarter. We're already in December, so any update here?
Most likely it will be in the next quarter because the regulator's approval has come, but they have to complete the exercise. The buyer has to complete the exercise. Hopefully, we should be able to do in next quarter.
So the company will be getting cash from housing finance deal, which will boost the CRAR. Does the company need any funding? What are your funding plans for the second half?
See, right now our capital adequacy is good enough, so we don't really require any further capital immediately. But it depends upon the growth. If the growth continues to be good, it also depends upon the country's economy, country's GDP growth. If GDP growth continues to do well, even though there was a small blip in this second quarter of this financial year, that's mainly due to mining activity getting disrupted by the rains. Otherwise, I think the Indian economy is doing well. If the economy is doing well, if our growth is good, then definitely we look for some capital raise in the next financial year, but definitely not immediately.
Right. And what will be your focus in terms of areas that you're going to be focusing on going forward?
We do have certain plans to focus on the green financing, and at the right time, we will be coming out with our announcement. We would like to focus on EVs and all kind of green finance option that is available. So that is going to be the next strategy, which will work out and announce at the right time.
Sir, really appreciate your time, and Umesh, really hope to see more of you going forward.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.